Christopher B. Quinn. Boy, if you don't get your old crusty, dusty ass on somewhere, is this the 90s? Are we still talking about this bullshit? You're trying to tax video games. Call it a sin tax, not the bomb. Because according to what you read, video games show a rise in violence and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to get political about this. Even though I'm dealing with a politician, I don't like politics. But every once in a while, some politician has to stick their head in video games and be like, oh, what's going on here? Let's talk about this. Video games cause violence. False. There's been plenty of studies that have been like, oh, this is not a thing. It may cause aggression, but there is no direct link between video games and violence. It's not a thing. That's not a thing. Aggression is not the same thing as violence, man. Just because you get aggressive about something doesn't mean you are instantly about to go grab a gun. Video games are competitive. It's like a sport. It's like any other game that you play. You play something to win, you're going to get aggressive, man. It's going to happen. But it does not mean that you are going to go out and grab something and go kill somebody. Why is it always when something happens, whenever something heinous happens in America or anything like that, video games always take the brunt of it. Always. Couple things why. One, video games have become the biggest form of media. That's a fact. And two, video games are interactive. So people like to be like, oh, this encourages kids to use guns because it teaches them how to use guns. What? Video games don't teach you how to shoot guns. Whenever stuff like this happens, we don't never want to try to solve the issue. We always want to blame some shit. Oh, this is what happened. That's what happened. Common folk, the people always try to come up with ways to actually figure some stuff out. Maybe it's mental health. Maybe it's our gun control regulations. Maybe it's people's upbringing. Maybe parents should be parents and not actually let, violent things influence their child, whether that's violent video games or violent movies or violent books or violent TV, because there's other forms of media other than video games. Hell, listen to violent, loose music, all that type of stuff. Maybe parents should not be letting their children do that and let them be influenced by that. I'm just saying, there are other avenues that we can look into, not being like, oh, let's tax violent video games. No, that's so fucking dumb. My tinfoil hat opinion, this guy is just doing it to keep somebody's pockets happy. That's how I'm thinking, because it doesn't make sense. If you're going to tax video games, why don't you tax other violent media? Because it's not about that. Video games have become the biggest form of media, and because video games have become the biggest form of media, everybody's gunning for it. Pun intended. I'm just tired of this, man. This is not the 90s no more, bro. Look, we get it, man. People got spooked because Mortal Kombat was the thing. And then now they keep trying to bring the same thing up over and over and over every time we have it. It's not video games, man. There's actually more research that shows that video games are a coping mechanism. Video games are not going to just automatically cause you to start being violent. I've never sat down and played Mario and been like, I'm going to go shoot someone today. I've never sat down and played Tetris. I'm going to shoot someone today. I've never played Temple Run and been like, I'm going to shoot someone today. Hell, I've never even played Call of Duty or Battlefield or Doom or Fortnite and been like, I'm going to go out and shoot someone today, because I know if I go out and shoot somebody, I'm probably going to get in trouble. And people go to football games, man. They go crazy and go nuts and they fucking start throwing cans at each other and shit because something happened. You go to basketball games or not, motherfuckers will go in there and get beat the fuck up because they're too crazy. It's not something that's isolated to video games, man. Sometimes some shit may get out of hand, but that does not mean that it is intrinsically tied to video games. Same thing as sports. It does not mean that it is tied to those things specifically. People just get rowdy and they get crazy. Am I excusing this behavior? No. What I'm saying is, it's not just happening over here. It's happening over here and over here and over here. So it's probably not just tied to video games. It's probably a people issue that we need to figure out. For someone to play a game, any type of game, whether it's a video game, card game, board game, sports game, any of that type of stuff, there is that spirit of competition underlying everything. So your opponent is trying to outdo each other, so they're going to get aggressive about things. That does not mean that they're going to get violent about something. Whoever this dude is, man, B. Quinn or whatever, get your old whack ass on somewhere. Old ass thinking these things are going to rot my kid's brain. And get that bullshit out of here, man. You trying to tax people, man, so you can get more money. That's simple and plain. Be straight up about it, man. Fuck what this dude's talking about, man. This dude gonna try to use some data on us, talking about, look at this. Oh my goodness, this shows that video games and violence has a connection. But in the same fucking thing, it says there's no connection between the two. They couldn't lock it down. But he conveniently left that shit out because he was like, oh my God, look at this part. I'm gonna just take this little section right here. I'm gonna put it right there. Yeah, man, look at that. That's so bad. Oh, don't put the rest of it in there. Oh. Man, get your old, I just did a line, hide your kid's face having ass, no eyebrows, 20-foot ear, my hair's not slick enough to have a comb over head ass, there and back again looking ass out of here, man. Damn.